Today is your lucky day, and let me tell you why. I am about to give you my secret manifestation technique that has helped me stay accountable but also consistent with manifesting my desires. This technique, in my opinion, is extremely effortless, and when I first started using it, it didn't even really feel like I was manifesting, and yet the results were flying in because I was actually manifesting extremely effectively. Now, I've given this technique to very, very few people, but to those who I have, they have had huge jumps in their manifestation, just like I did. So by the end of this video, you are going to have an additional tool in your arsenal that you can call upon at any time, and it's going to help take your manifestation game from down here all the way up to here. But before we get into that, to those of you who are new here, howdy, my name is Matthew, and I am a manifestation coach. I have helped many people become their best selves while manifesting their desires, and I can help you too. So if you're looking to work with me one-to-one, check down below in the comment section or the description. There you will find the links to my website where you can see my coaching services. If you don't want to work with me one-to-one, but you want additional things from me, such as worksheets, videos, and such things as that, down below there is also a link to my membership, which is only £6 per month and can give you tons of awesome stuff, such as a new service where I can do a daily script for you and affirm for you on my side of things. So if you're interested, go check that out. I'd absolutely love it if you could subscribe to the channel, and when you do, be sure to click that bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Last week there was a competition and someone did in fact win the competition, but to make it a bit different to how I usually do it, the winner of the competition will be announced later on in this video, so stick around to find out who that was. I look forward to all your lovely comments, to those of you who come to work with me and to those of you who join the membership. Now into this awesome video. Since you've clicked on this video, I'm going to go out on the bold assumption to say that you've seen the title and you know that I'm going to be talking about a defining image. But what is a defining image? Now, for starters, a defining image doesn't have to be a full-blown visualization. It doesn't have to be a physical drawing. All it has to be is a mental screenshot of yourself in your end result. So a couple of examples. Let's say you want to be a musician, you want to be a guitarist. Picture yourself on a stage with a guitar in hand. That's all it has to be. Or if you're wanting a relationship, if it's someone specific, picture yourself holding hands with your specific person or taking like a family photo or something like that. Just imagine you're doing what it is that you want to experience and someone's come and taken a Polaroid picture and given you the Polaroid picture. That is your defining image. Doesn't have to be crazy, just something simple that when you think of, when you bring to mind, you can go, yeah, that's me on stage, or yeah, that's me in my relationship, or yeah, that's me in my role. And the reason why we want this image is because we want a visual representation of what our end goal is. And it will come in later and it will make a lot more sense. But you can do this with any number of your desires. I know most of you will probably have that one big one, whether it's a person or manifesting money or something. But you can do this, and I do recommend you do this, with every single desire that you may have that holds some importance. If you kind of want a pet but you don't really want one for the next 4 years, probably wouldn't recommend doing it for that because it's just a waste of your time. But if you know you want a relationship now, you want a new job, you want to be on that stage, create that mental image. As simple or as detailed as you want it to be does not matter. But what matters is that when you bring it to mind, or if you were to show someone this mental image, they would be able to go, yep, you're on stage with a guitar, or yep, you're in a relationship with Deborah from The Office. Just a couple of examples. But create that mental image. Now that we have our defining image or images, I want you to get a notepad and pen, or you can do it in your phone notes as well. I just like to write it down because it makes me feel into what I'm doing more. But get a notepad and pen, and on one page, or leave some space maybe, but on one page, write old habits, thoughts, and feelings. And then on a different page, new habits, thoughts, and feelings. And then what I want you to do is sit there and consider any habits you may currently have or that you could potentially pick up that would not benefit your end result or that defining image, and put them down on the old habits, thoughts, and feelings. So this could be habits you may have, old thoughts such as I'm not good enough or I'll never succeed, feelings such as anxieties, worries, doubts, all those kinds of things. Get them all down. It does not matter how much there is, but put down things that you feel like you either have or that are really getting in your way. And then on the other page where it says new habits, thoughts, and feelings, I want you to write down the new habits, thoughts, and feelings that you may have. So any habits that would benefit your end result or this defining image. Any feelings that would benefit this, such as courage, excitement, assuredness, confidence. Any thoughts that would benefit this? I'm doing this thing. It's mine. I'm good enough for this. This is my birthright, for example. And now you will have an understanding of what to do and what not to do. Now, let me give you an example just so you can kind of get, a bit of an idea of what I mean. Let's say, for example, my defining image is myself doing a bodybuilding competition, for example. I'm going to get all oiled up and I'm going to do some poses in front of a couple of judges. That's my defining image. That's my end goal. I know that old habits would be overeating or eating bad foods, so high caloric, low protein kinds of foods, for example. Old thoughts that wouldn't benefit me could be, I'll never win that competition. I'm not the size I want to be. I'm not good enough at this. I don't have good enough traps, for example. Old feelings could be, what if I lose? That fear, that anxiety, that doubt. Those are the old things that we want to understand that we're not doing anymore. And then the new things, new habits, I want to make sure that I go to the gym at least 5 times a week. That's my new habit. My new thoughts, I want to make sure that I'm thinking of myself like, wow, you look amazing. You could easily win a competition. Like, you are the most bodybuilder-esque person. I probably should have used an example. I know what I'm talking about. But you get what I mean. You're the most best physique. You're going to win. You're guaranteed. And then try to feel that excitement. You're excited for the show. If you know you're going to win, why would you be scared to go? What would you feel? Excitement, confidence, self-assuredness. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because manifestation is the process of internally becoming the version of you who has your desire already. Not will have, not might have one day, who knows, we'll see if the stars aligned, but currently has. Yeah? So, by understanding this defining image, we have a mental picture of this is us doing whatever it is that we want to do. Or have whatever it is that we want to have, or be whatever it is we want to be. We now have old things that we know that we need to let go of. Because if we should internally be the version of ourselves we desire to be, does it make sense to continue eating high-calorie, low-protein foods when your defining image is that of winning a bodybuilder competition? No, it doesn't benefit you. Does it benefit you to sit playing games all day on the Xbox instead of going to the gym if your defining image is to be a Mr. Olympia or whatever? No, it doesn't. So we now understand the old version of ourselves from a habit standpoint, from a mental thinking standpoint, and from a feeling standpoint. So we know what not to do. And then we have an understanding of our new version, the new habits, the new thoughts, the new feelings that we want to take on. Because, like I said, being that manifestation is becoming the version of you who already has your desire, this is your blueprint. Imagine you're an architect, a builder, and the architect has just handed you the blueprint with everything on it. You know exactly what you need to do to build that house. This is the same thing here. By understanding the habits, the thoughts, and the feelings, you have been given the blueprint to your end result, and that defining image is the end result in picture. It's that end result to say, if you do this, this is your outcome. This is you on stage with that guitar. This is you in that relationship if you follow these things. That's why we want to do this, and that's how we're going to flesh out this defining image. So be sure to take some time with it. It's not something you have to rush through, but really sit and think, if I was my new version, what kind of habits would I have? If I was in a relationship, would I be sitting there, pouting and not going to the gym just in case I run into them at the gym? Because that's actually something that a lot of my clients come to me saying, that they're scared to go to the gym in case they run into them and it goes bad. So now they're not building themselves up, they're not benefiting their own body, their own sort of mental state by going to the gym, because they're scared of this. And it's like, is that a habit that you should have? Probably not. So this is why we want to do this. We want to understand what we should stop doing, and we want to understand what we should start doing, or what we should keep up doing if we're already doing it, and try to understand the differences between this doesn't get me my image, this in fact loses me that image, and this gets me said image. The winner of last week's competition is right here with Alice Foster and this analogy. The reason why I've chosen this one, despite that there was so many amazing ones that it was really difficult to pick, is because this one resonates most with me as a coach as opposed to a manifestation utilizer, so to speak. The reason being, a lot of people when they first come to me start with that kind of statement of, I've done everything, nothing's worked, this just kind of proves to me that manifestation doesn't exist, and this is my final hope. I cannot explain how many people have opened with that in our initial email when it comes to email coaching. And it's because of this. If you doubt the process, if you're looking at what you don't have and saying this means manifestation doesn't exist, you will be proven right because you're focusing on the wrong things. Therefore, manifestation isn't working for you. So if you believe that you can or believe that you can't, you will be proven right because it follows what you're dominantly focusing on. I think this is a great thing to keep in mind, and I really hope that going forward you guys will keep this in mind and make use of it with this video, but also manifestation in general. And as for Alice, thank you so much for commenting this analogy. Great analogy, really helpful. And drop me an email at mindoverthismatrix@gmail.com and we can get started. To everyone else, thank you so much for engaging in this competition, and don't worry, there will be more coming. I plan to do them super consistently because I want to give back to the community just the way that you guys support me so much as well. So thank you very much, and let's get into this final point. I know, don't shoot me yet. I know I've just sprouted the same shit that every other coach does of how your desired version think, feel, and act like. I say that all the time myself. I know I'm about to make it my own, just bear with me. But this is where it gets fun, and this is where I made it my own. Now that you have this blueprint, so to speak, if you do these things, you will get your desire. Start doing it. And that part's obvious, I know, but some people need to hear it. Some people need to hear that, just start doing it. You've got the feelings, you've got the thoughts, you've got the habits, start doing it. So hopefully you're going to start, and you're going to stop doing the other things. This is the fun part. Now, you have your defining image. In your mind, you know that if you do this stuff, you'll get this image. I know that most of us don't want to do the things we need to do to reach goals. Most people don't want to sit and work extremely hard for money. Most people don't want to, go to the gym, but they still want their body. Most people don't want to do their affirmations, but they still want their person. Most people don't want to do the things that they need to do in order to achieve the things they desire to achieve. I guarantee if you were to give 100 people the opportunity of, if you could just sit and do nothing all day, but everything would come to you, 99.9% of those people would probably pick that option. So I get it. But however, the instance here that I want you to consider is if you find yourself in a situation where you are sort of umming and ahhing between, I know I need to get up and do this, or, I'm having a bit of a mental spiral or whatever. If you're in a situation where you're kind of in the middle of these two, you're not following the new one or you're almost following the old one, I want you to bring that defining image to your mind. And this is what I do, and this is what made a big difference for me. I want you to quite literally visualize, if you can. Obviously, I know most people struggle with visualizations. I do too, so I know you can still do this even with a struggle, but, do what you can. Imagine this scene fading away. Imagine whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. If you've got your arm around your specific person, imagine that person fading away. If you've got, if you're trying to manifest being on stage with your guitar, imagine that stage fading away and the cool guitar you've got in your hand turning into something really lame and broken up or something like that. Quite literally, envision this thing fading away if you continue to do what you do. Link the loss of this mental image to the actions or the thoughts or the feelings that you have going on, and use that to kick you in the ass to get back on track. Now, I do this all the time. I mean all the time. I'm obviously training boxing right now, as I've told you guys a million times. That means I have to do ab workouts. That means I have to do extensive amounts of skipping. That means I have to do endurance training. That means I have to do loads of things. I will be in the middle of my ab workout and I'm like, I need to quit. I need to stop. I'm about to kill myself basically. And I'll bring to mind that mental image, which for me with my boxing training is me in boxing attire with a nicer physique than I have now, so to speak. And I'll envision my stomach getting fatter. I'll envision my pectoral muscles getting flabbier. And I will quite literally think to myself, if I stop now, that's what I'm going to achieve in the future. If I quit here before I'm physically unable to do another crunch or whatever, that's my future. And for me, it kicks me into gear. I'm like, I don't want that. That's not my defining image. My defining image is a more muscular physique in a boxing attire, hopefully winning not a championship, but hopefully winning a few matches or whatever. That's my defining image. If I stop now, I get fat. I get flabby. I get, that's my scaredness. This is what I have coming to me if I stop now. And I always manage to push out a fair few extra reps because I don't want that. That's not my defining image. If I notice myself in a bit of a shitty mood and I start just thinking about things that aren't desirable, let's use my my business, for example. Last week we didn't have many clients compared to usual. Didn't really affect me that much, but I noticed that little like voice in the back of my head saying, oh, what if next week's the same? What if next week's the same? And I sat there and I thought to myself, my defining image is me in a much bigger house. I have 35,000 subscribers. I'm earning £10,000 a month consistent. That's my defining image. They obviously all have their own different images, but those are like the things that this would be involved in. And I envisioned my bank account slowly draining from money. And I was like, if I continue thinking like this, that's what's going to happen. So what did I do instead? I got up and I started to affirm to myself, I make £10,000 a month with ease. I make £10,000 a month without even having to work particularly hard for it. I'm more than good enough as a coach to make £10,000 per month. And this is the fun part. What I then do once I kick myself into gear is I do the same thing but the opposite way. So I've got those extra few crunches. I reward myself with the mental image of myself with an even nicer physique than I had in my defining image. With the money, I start doing my affirmations, and so in my mental image, in my defining image, I imagined my bank account going above £10,000. And I would literally give myself that internal reward to say, you could have quit, but you didn't, and this is what you get. You now get £12,000 per month. You now have a more muscular physique. You now have this relationship, and they look even happier. Things like that. Use it both ways. If you've seen Back to the Future, the first one, I don't know, I've not seen any others other than the first one, so I don't know if it happens in any of the others, but he has a picture of himself, and he starts to fade away from that picture because the stuff's... It's been a long time since I watched it. I was a kid, so I can't remember it fully. But he starts to fade away in that image until he sorts it out. And then once he sorts it out, that image becomes stronger. This is the exact same thing here. Stop yourself and think, is this one of my new habits or one of my old habits? New thoughts, new feelings, old feelings. If it's new, imagine that scene stronger. Imagine getting more money. Imagine your person even happier. Imagine you with more fans at your show. If you're doing the right thing, reward yourself internally. And what this is going to do is it's going to show that image to your subconscious mind over and over and over again until shit starts happening. Because not only are you following matter to matter, i.e. doing habits and stuff, you're also choosing the quantum reality that you desire to have through the mental work also. And vice versa. By seeing what you don't want coming to fruition, by continuing to doing the thing that you're doing, if it's a negative thing, you're now seeing, oh shit, it's the consequences of my own actions. Boom, let me just stop this spiral. Let me just meditate for a little bit to help myself out. Let me go to the gym. Let me affirm to myself 30 times or something. It depends on what you want to do in that moment, whatever it is that you're doing wrong, so to speak. But by doing this, it holds you accountable. And I know it sounds like a lot of work, but that's because I'm describing it all to you in a singular video. But this is not something that's hard to do. This is not something that takes time. You're already in the middle of doing that ab workout. Why not have your mind picture something while doing so? Boom, motivation. You're already wanting your desired person. Why not just picture that scene getting stronger while you affirm for them? You're already in a negative spiral. Why not imagine what it would be like if you continue down this path? It's not something that actually takes a whole lot of effort, but it really does work. And it really helps keep you accountable because it's showing you in your mind the consequences of your actions. It's very easy to sit here and say, if I continue the spiral, I might not get my person. But imagine seeing them fade away. Or imagine seeing them smile brighter. Imagine seeing them feel more in love with you. Imagine like the kids that you have, because you could even imagine kids coming into the picture. I don't care what it is that you do, but imagine your scene getting stronger if you're doing the right things, and imagine your scene getting weaker and fading away if you're doing the wrong things. And what this is going to do is it's going to give you that mental kick in the ass to say, are you sure you want to continue this spiral? Are you sure you want to eat another donut? Are you sure you want to not study for that exam? Are you sure you want to do this? And when you see the differences between the realities that you could experience, you're going to be like, shit, I need to stop this. Or this is amazing. I need to continue this. I have never been more disciplined in my life than I am right now. And I really want that for you. And I don't even necessarily mean disciplined as in like I have to fight myself to get shit done. But I mean disciplined in the sense of I'm doing what I need to do to progress. And I don't even feel like it. I am happier now than I have ever been. And I mean that genuinely, not even just for the purpose of this video. I'm doing more things that people generally would go, I can't be bothered to do that. And I'm happier than I've ever been. Because I'm no longer defined by me trying to fight myself to do things. I'm now defined by, this is what I get if I carry on, or this is what I lose if I carry on. And that feeds me a whole new level of motivation that I've ever experienced, and is also impressing my subconscious mind because I'm showing that image over and over and over again. What's manifestation? Becoming the version of you who has what it is that you want. If you're showing your subconscious mind, hey, look at me with this relationship, and you're doing the thoughts, the feelings, and actions to align with that, how is it ever going to take any other kind of story? It physically cannot. And this is huge for me, so I hope it's huge for you. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, be sure to drop me a like, comment, and a subscribe, and just let me know that you have. And hopefully you've all watched this far, and to the person who won the competition, congratulations. I really look forward to your email, and I will see all you amazing people very soon. Bye-bye.